Welcome back to our channel, where learning meets excitement. The next important act was the Government of India Act of 1919. Today, we will explore how this critical piece of legislation, passed over a century ago, and its important features. 1. The Act relaxed the central control over the provinces, by demarcating and separating the central and provincial subjects. The central and provincial legislatures were authorized to make laws on their respective subjects. However, the structure of government continued to be unitary and centralized. 2. The Act further divided the provincial subjects into two parts, transferred and reserved. The transferred subjects were to be administered by the governor with the aid and advice of ministers responsible to the Legislative Council. The reserved subjects, on the other hand, were to be administered by the governor and his Executive Council, without being responsible to the Legislative Council. This dual scheme of governance was known as diarchy. However, this experiment was largely unsuccessful. 3. The Act introduced, for the first time, bicameralism and direct elections in the country. Thus, the Indian Legislative Council was replaced by a bicameral legislature consisting of an upper house, Council of State, and a lower house, Legislative Assembly. The majority of members of both the houses were chosen by direct election. 4. This act required that the 3 of the 6 members of the Viceroy's Executive Council, other than the Commander-in-Chief, were to be Indian. 5. This act extended the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorates for Sikhs, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. 6. This act granted franchise to a limited number of people on the basis of property, tax or education. 7. The act also created a new office of the High Commissioner for India in London, and transferred to him some of the functions hitherto performed by the Secretary of State for India. 8. It provided for the establishment of a Public Service Commission. Hence, a Central Public Service Commission was set up in 1926 for recruiting civil servants. 9. The Act separated, for the first time, provincial budgets from the central budget and authorized the provincial legislatures to enact their budgets. 10. Lastly, this Act provided for the appointment of a statutory commission to inquire into and report on its working after 10 years of its coming into force. The Government of India Act of 1919 was thus enacted, which came into force in 1921. This act is also known as Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms. Montagu was the Secretary of State for India and Lord Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more enlightening content. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.